I've come to Christchurch, which is like a town near where I live, to try and get some rainy street photography. It is currently tipping it down with rain, but it seems to be like on and off. I feel like the light might be quite good today because like the sun is coming in and out. My only problem is that I don't know if many people are going to be out and about because it's raining so much, but we'll see what we can get.
Now, starting off with a nice little warm-up, we headed towards the church where I saw this lady cycling down the path. It's not an amazing shot, but it does take some time to get back into the groove, as we all know. Christchurch has quite a bit going for it. It has an amazing church right in the centre of it, with lots of surrounding green areas. And then later in the video, you'll see me head over to some castle ruins and the Waterfront quay area. It's pretty crazy that all of this stunning scenery is within a 10-minute walk of each other, and shooting today made me really realise how lovely it actually is. I think it's really easy to get complacent with where you live because you see it all the time, but doing these shoots really helps me see its charm. At this point, there wasn't many people out. It was still about 9 AM. We've got some joggers and people taking their morning strolls. I really like how rain has created a nice glassy effect on the ground, making the light bounce in a really dreamy and glowy sort of way. We are shooting with my Sony A7iii with a 28mm lens, and at this point I decided to change my lens over to my 85. I get along so much better with my 85 for street photography, which you'll know if you've seen my other videos, but this lens really helps me get closer to not encroach on people's personal space as much, letting the subjects be more relaxed. I've made it over to the castle ruins now. They're spread out across the town, but this one in particular has got to be my favourite. You have to climb some stairs to get to the top of the hill, but once you're up there, it's so gorgeous. The rooftops of the surrounding houses have got so much character and are just so picturesque. I looked up to find a flock of birds flying over the top and instinctively took a few images. This one is one of my favourite photos of the entire day. I love how the birds have framed the clock tower, and I wish I could say that I did it on purpose, but really it was just pure luck. I stayed on this hill for a while and just took in the view. It was a really nice morning and really quiet, and usually the top of this hill can be full of people, and I can see why. After taking in the view, I headed down towards the waterfront. I had to pass through a path covered in trees and a little river to get there, so my camera was at the ready when I spotted this squirrel. I also figured that if I'm not going to be seeing many people, I could focus my attention on the animals, which I ended up doing a fair bit. I really like this photo of a duck. I don't really know why. I think it's because it literally looks like he's walking down the street like a human, but I think it's really cute. I've just about reached the waterfront at this point when I saw a cool mill. When I looked closer, I could see that the trees were perfectly framing this riverboat, with people getting on board. So, of course, I had to get some photos. I feel like it tells a little story and actually makes me want to go down the river with them. One thing I love to look out for when I'm shooting street photography is reflections. The rain tends to make those reflections even more interesting, especially if the windows are wet, and if the sun is just peeking through enough, it creates abstract shapes like we can see here. I started shooting this huge puddle because it was really still, and giving some really lovely reflections of the pigeons. I got far too focused on the pigeons that I completely missed this really cool old man ahead of me that was feeding all of them. I think that would have made for a really good picture, but by the time I realized, he had run out of food and moved on. I don't know if this is a common fear, but I'm really quite scared of swans. But when I took this image, I did think it was really nice, and I just really love the way he's stepping towards me. Paired with the rowers in the background and the rundown boat, I just think it's a nice picture. Nothing special, but it does make me rethink my swan hatred.
You want to leave this place where we grew up, this old town, just put it all behind. Remember you and I would always find somewhere to hide when we were kids, so we could see and hear the water run. The river's gonna cry when you're gone. River's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry.
At this point, I was headed back to the car and remembered one photograph I really wanted to get. It was honestly one of the photos that made me want to do a rainy photo shoot in the first place. So I headed up into the high street, where I knew I'd be able to find some more people, considering it was about 10 o'clock at this point, and I had my fingers crossed that the bus stop had some raindrops on them. The first bus stop didn't really have much, but I still got the shot of an old man, and then headed over across the street to see if that one was any better.
But I've always known that you would go and find your own way. I still see when we climb.
I found one panel of the glass that still had some droplets on it, and took this photo just as the guy looked at me. He looks really annoyed, but I kind of love that. I love that the reflection is framing his eye and making it the focal point of the image.
When we sat there, you and I.
So, happy with that being one of my final images of the day, I headed back to the car and stopped for one last peek at the church.
River's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're. River's gonna cry when you're.
And I snapped this picture just as I was about to put my camera away. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really enjoyed shooting this one. I am trying to upload more and more, and the more subscribers that I have, the more I will be able to upload. So if you enjoyed, please leave a comment, subscribe, and all of that good stuff, and I will see you soon.